How on earth do you stand out in 2025? This is becoming absolutely ridiculous. So what happens is that you launch a business, you launch an entrepreneurial venture, you've got a big idea, you've got a big product, you've got something you want to do for the world. And then suddenly you realize you're in competition with every single other person in the planet. You are trying to get your message heard, but everyone has this massive microphone called social media. And you're not just up against people who are in your industry who have similar things to say as you, you're in competition with everyone who is fighting for the attention of the marketplace. And it could be a famous celebrity who wants to talk about what they want to talk about. It could be a government that wants to get their message on people's agenda, right? You are in competition with more noise than ever before. If we went back in time, not that long ago, there was really only 4 or 5 radio stations, 4 or 5 newspapers, 4 or 5 TV stations, and that was all that people could do to spend their attention. And that was all that was available for people to spend their attention on, just maybe 15 different sources of information. Today, people probably see 15 different sources of information every hour. So this is creating mass confusion, it's creating a wall of noise, and it makes it nearly impossible for your business to stand out in 2025. But it's not totally impossible. And what we're going to talk about are the key things that you need to do to make sure that you can cut through that noise, get your business to stand out, and you can access the massive ocean of opportunity for doing so. So point number 1, you are in the intellectual property business. The first thing that you have to acknowledge about your business is it's your intellectual property that is going to be doing the work of getting cut through. If you have weak intellectual property, no one's going to pay attention. And if you have strong intellectual property, people might just give you a little bit of time to find out what you do. So where are you going to get intellectual property from? You're going to get it from the last 5 years. You're going to look at your experience and you're going to say, what have I done that's interesting? What's unique? What's different? You're going to collate that up into a big ball and you're going to find what are the themes? What are some of the things that you've done in the last 5 years that are interesting? Recently, I saw Alex Hormozi and he was talking about all the deals that he's done and what they're collectively worth. He was talking about all the sales calls that he's done and how many thousands of sales calls he's done or how many thousands of one-to-one sales meetings he's done. So by him analyzing his past and knowing that he's done something like 4,000 one-to-one sales meetings or he's done $45 million worth of exits on his companies, by collating that information up, he's able to get cut through and he's able to talk about why you should listen to him. So your story contains your intellectual property. I want you to go through the last 5 years and think about every time you've done something special for a certain type of person, you got a remarkable result, and you can explain it step by step. That is the key to understanding your intellectual property. So step 1 is understand what makes you valuable, and we're talking about the concept of intellectual property that makes you valuable. Analyze your past and find that intellectual property so that you can write it down and you can share it clearly. Step 2 is I want you to think about what is the promise that following you offers to the person who follows. So every marketing campaign contains promises. The promises are the reasons that people will continue to follow you. You've got to ask yourself, what are the promises that you are making to your viewers or listeners or readers? So in the recent Trump campaign that won by a landslide, you may not agree with his political points of view, but it was very, very clear to see the promises on his website. He had a section of his website that said, these are the 20 promises that I'm making to you. And it was nice and clear that people could see what are the promises that are coming from this campaign. Now you could agree with it or disagree with it, and many people did, but you were not unclear about it. They were very, very clear about the promises. If we look at great brands, they make clear promises. Most famously, Steve Jobs said, this iPod product is about 1,000 songs in your pocket. Nike said, if you have Nike shoes and if you have Nike clothes, you're gonna have a feeling of commitment and you're gonna just do it. You're just gonna get over yourself and you're gonna get out there and have a run. You're just gonna do it. And the promise of the Nike brand is that it gets you past your resistance and it gets you to just do it. So great businesses and great brands have a set of promises. I would love for you to have 5 to 20 promises that your business makes or that you make to your listeners or viewers or readers, and that you can clearly articulate what is it that you promise people if they follow you. Step 3, I want you to think in terms of customer segmentation. So customer segmentation is that we need to understand who's who in our audience. So here's some interesting statistics. In a typical audience, right, think of it like a bit of a pyramid. The top 1% of your audience have got 15% of the budget to spend with you. The next 9% have got about 45% of the budget to spend with you, which means the top 10% collectively have 60% of the budget. Now, what that tells you is that if you can figure out who are the top 1% and who are the next 9%, you've accessed 60% of the budget just by identifying 10% of the people. And this is a powerful concept called segmentation. You need to understand the segments within your audience. You need to know who pays the bills. You need to handle their objections, handle their concerns, talk directly to them, not talk in generalities, not talk to the base of the pyramid, but talk to the people who make the biggest difference to your business. Understand your segments and know how to capture their attention, because all of your competitors will be talking to the base of the pyramid who have a very small budget, and also they have weak attention. The 1% and the 9% have got the biggest budgets, and for that reason they also have the most valuable attention to capture. So figure out how to capture the attention of the people who make the biggest difference to your business. Hey there, if you're enjoying this content, I know you'll love my live workshop. In my live workshop, we look at differentiation, productization, and putting together game-changing partnerships. It's a really good live workshop. We interact, we do Q&A, so it's a little bit different from content. It's actually more of an interaction. If you would like to come and join me, there'll be a link somewhere below. Now let's get back to this video. Now, point 4 I want to share with you is about handling objections. Every single one of those people in that top segment that I talked about, the 1% and the 9%, they have objections. They have objections to working with you. They have reasons why they haven't spent their budget already. They have resistance points that they feel are valid concerns, and most people will not address their valid concerns. Now, what you need to do as a business is you need to address the pain points, the frustration points. You need to address the negative emotions that people might have. You need to address the hopes and dreams that people have, right? And all of that is really, really important. So great businesses want to handle objections. Now, go talk to your salespeople, or when you're doing sales conversations, think about the most common and emotive and irrational objections that people have, and then think about how your business can handle those objections. Never ever treat a customer complaint as anything other than free consulting. When a customer complains, it's because they care, it's because they want to see improvement, and they would love for your business to change in some way that meets their needs in a more meaningful and powerful way. Treat all customer complaints as feedback, and it's free consulting, right? A lot of big businesses pay thousands and thousands of dollars to McKinsey to come in and tell them what they could do better. Your customers will give you that information for free. When they do so, write it down, talk to your team, figure out how you're going to improve to address their concerns. Handling objections is a really powerful way to stand out in a noisy market. So I've given you 4 things to consider when standing out in a noisy market. I know it's going to be tough in the year ahead. I know there's going to be a lot of noise, and that you're going to have to show up consistently and powerfully in your marketplace all throughout the year, but the payoff is huge. If you get this right, you win the game. And if you win the game, you've got a global audience, you've got the top budgets anywhere in the world, and you've got a business that is going to make the most of the amazing times that we're in. Point number 5 relates to some research from Google called Decoding Decisions. And in that research, they talked about something called the messy middle. The messy middle is the idea that the traditional marketing funnel no longer exists. Now, what do they say in this research? They say that top of funnel is where you trigger people's awareness of who you are. Bottom of funnel is where you convert someone to a sale. And the messy middle is where people bounce all over the internet at their own speed, taking in information from all sorts of sources before they arrive at the conclusion that they'd like to buy from you. Now, what used to happen is we used to have top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom of funnel, awareness, education and entertainment and conversion. And actually that middle part has become very, very messy. So what do people do? They become aware of you, and then they try and see you on multiple platforms. On average, about 4 different platforms is where people want to connect with you. They want to then warm up to the idea of working with you, and on average, they're spending either 11 interactions or 7 hours in the messy middle. Your business needs to be set up for this. So what you need to do is create 7 hours of content, 11 powerful pieces of content, and scatter those across 4 main platforms where content is easily found. And that is how your business can be ready for the messy middle. We call that the 7-11-4 ecosystem. And building a 7-11-4 ecosystem means that whenever someone becomes aware of you, they can then navigate their way through a bit of a messy middle before deciding that they want to buy from you. This is evidence-backed, it's research-backed, and it's something you should pay attention to in 2025. Point 6 is obvious that we need to start using AI in our business. AI is an incredibly powerful tool, and one way or another, you're going to interact with AI. You're going to interact with AI as a consumer or as a creator. If you're a consumer, AI is going to make you consume more than ever before, and it's going to do this to your employees as well. So you're going to have moments in 2025 where you know somebody should be doing work and they will be down an AI rabbit hole. They'll be looking at short videos, or they'll be consuming content that they didn't mean to be consuming, because AI is very, very good at forcing people to consume more than they intended to consume, yourself included. And the way to combat that is to make sure you're using AI to create more than you ever could without AI. So you want to find tools that are the tools that help you to create more than you ever dreamed possible. You want to find AI tools that help you to write a book, AI tools that help you to create great podcast episodes, AI tools that help you to create compelling and engaging content for people to learn more about your business. One of the tools that I want to share with you is bookmagic.ai. It's an amazing tool that helps you to craft a book and to take your ideas and put them into chapters. It doesn't write the book for you, but it does support the creative process. Check out bookmagic.ai as an AI tool that can help you to create more than you ever thought possible. In fact, it'll get you to publish a book in the year ahead. You may also like to have a play with scoreapp.com, where we've used AI to generate quizzes, surveys, and assessments that people can engage with your business. It takes something that used to take 4 to 6 weeks and it makes it happen in 4 to 6 minutes. So this is the power of AI. AI is this incredible tool that allows you to speed up the creative process. If you are not dramatically speeding up your creative process through the use of AI, that's a red flag in the year ahead. And the seventh one I want to share with you is the importance of productization. Your business needs to be in the business of products and services that scale. You absolutely can't be selling time for money. Even if you're skilled labor at a really high price, time for money does not scale in a digital world. We need you to have that intellectual property that turns into scalable products and services. The key test that I want you to think about is how many of your customers could you easily go and have a cup of coffee with? Now, if the answer is high, that most of your customers you could meet up for a cup of coffee, that's a big red flag. You want to have a business where most of your customers are in far-flung corners of the world. We want to look at a list of all of your customers and we want to say, wow, we've got Indonesia and South Africa, Australia and USA and Brazil. We've got customers all over the world, and there's no particular geographical pattern to those customers. We want to define your business by the problem that you solve and who you solve it for, and we want to make sure that your products and services are things that completely scale no matter where those people are in the world. You've got valuable intellectual property that's based on your experience. We want to turn that intellectual property into products and services, into product and service ecosystems that can deliver value no matter where people are in the world. Do not wait one more year to do that to your business. Right? This is the year you have to get that done. You've got to be in the business of scalable products and services. I hope you enjoyed those 7 ideas for how you should be thinking for the year ahead. Let me know in the comments below which one of those stood out the most, which one really spoke to you. I read every comment, so I'd love to see which one really resonated. Give this video a like and a subscribe, share it with someone who you think should be more successful in the year ahead, and I look forward to seeing you soon.